alternate timeline histories of the Dragon Quest series. Across countless parallel worlds, the Dragon Quest series has unfolded in dramatically different ways. From early controversies that reshaped the franchise's mythos to sweeping cultural shifts in the West, these are some of the most compelling alternate histories recorded in the Echo archives. Presented here in chronological order, they trace the series' journey across divergent realities. Alternate timeline: Dragon Quest II censorship scandal, 1987. Echo timeline branch: Celestis harmonic software expansion era. What was different in that timeline's DQ2? In the Echo timeline, Dragon Quest II was released in early 1987 with the subtitle Dragon Quest II: The Bloodline of the Godless King. While the basic story still featured 3 descendants of Erdrick, the plot focused much more heavily on moral ambiguity, mythic betrayal, and a church that had become corrupted by the Dragon Lord's lingering influence. Key differences: religious elements. Enhanced. The House of Healing became a full-on church of light and fire, with symbols highly resembling both Christian and Zoroastrian iconography. The Godless King was the hero's father. The protagonist's father, who founded Moonbrook, was revealed to have rejected divine guidance, causing a rift in the world's spiritual balance. This plotline implied that faithlessness, not evil, led to the rise of Hargun's cult. Hargun's cult used sigils based on real-world occult symbols, including Enochian glyphs, Zebu script, and repurposed Hebrew letters, which were interpreted by Japanese media watchdogs as dangerously Western. A late-game revelation: the final tower, not called Malroth's Shrine but the Memoryless Spire, contained a conversation between the hero and a dying priest, where it was heavily implied that the gods of DQ1 were invented by survivors of the previous cycle. This broke the myth arc. What caused the censorship scandal? In early 1987, right before mass shipment, a handwritten letter was leaked from a Nintendo quality assurance staffer, warning that the game encourages children to doubt the gods and revere nihilism. Major Japanese parent groups and the Komito, Clean Government Party, demanded a public apology and delays for content review. The game was pulled from shelves 2 days after launch and recalled for a rebalanced version. This led to thousands of angry fans, including Doujin creators, who leaked the original version and kept the myth arc alive. The edited version, post-censorship. All religious symbols were replaced with abstract geometric forms. The Memoryless Spire was renamed Tower of Trials. Dialogue with the dying priest was cut entirely. The subtitle was changed to Dragon Quest II: Luminaries of the Lineage. Fallout and the birth of experimental JRPGs. Enix's director, Hiroshi Yamao, felt humiliated and vowed never again to let theology choke myth. Within 2 years, he approved a radical side project, Celestis, Echoes of the First Flame, under a pseudonym, free of content restrictions. Final Fantasy II was delayed by a year in that world, partially due to backlash spillover. Here in our world, none of this happened because The early DQ team chose a safer mythos, light versus darkness, without challenging cosmology. The censorship wave here focused more on violence and sexual imagery, not theological themes. Bloodline of the Godless King was a discarded subtitle for a planned Dragon Quest II novel, never written. VIII split, echo variants of the main series. Dragon Quest III, The Covenant of Light, Echo Glory 87. You play 3 incarnations of yourself across parallel worlds, restoring harmony to the sphere of light. Ends with erasing yourself to heal the world. Introduced the Echo Forging system. Core concept. You play 3 incarnations of yourself, past, present, and future, across parallel worlds. Each incarnation exists simultaneously, and the game alternates between them, with certain actions in one affecting the others. Story details. The sphere of light is a sentient construct, binding the moral resonance of 3 parallel worlds. It is fractured due to karmic imbalance caused by the hero's actions in past lifetimes. The villain isn't an external monster, but the Shadow Triune. 3 corrupted echoes of yourself, one from each world, representing the worst decisions you made in those lives. The journey ends with you confronting all 3 shadows simultaneously, and the final choice is to erase all 3 incarnations from existence to heal the sphere of light. Gameplay changes. Echo Forging system. A fusion mechanic where you forge new party members from memory fragments found in all 3 worlds. These forged characters have traits based on the memories you choose, creating hybrid skill sets. Parallel world puzzles. A dungeon in one incarnation might have an obstacle only cleared if your past self solved something centuries earlier. Moral karma loops. Dialogue choices and battle decisions subtly alter resonance between worlds, changing NPC behavior over time. Dragon Quest V, The Veil-Born Child. DQ, Crystal Bow. Your child is the reincarnation of the villain Neratos. Marriage choices shape their fate. The final area takes place inside your child's mind. Core concept. The famous generational story is twisted. Your child is the reincarnation of the villain Neratos, a tragic Aeon who believes that only suffering purges corruption from timelines. Story details. Marriage choice determines which parent's influence shapes the child's moral arc. Neratos' reincarnation is unaware of their identity at first, but as the story unfolds, small moments, hesitations in battle, strange dreams hint at their true nature. Mid-game twist. The child gains partial memory of their past life and must choose whether to continue down Neratos' path or resist it. Final act takes place entirely inside your child's mind, in a surreal dreamscape where locations from the game are reimagined as symbolic manifestations of their inner struggle. Gameplay changes. Dynamic child AI. The child's behavior in battle changes depending on your moral influence, occasionally disobeying commands if leaning toward darkness. Echo bonds. Dialogue and side quests with your child affect their skills, unlocking either healing, miracle abilities, light path, or destructive cosmic powers, dark path. Multiple endings, rescue path. Child resists Naratos completely. Redemption path. Child accepts their past, but uses it for good. Shadow path. Child fully embraces Naratos, forcing you to make a devastating choice. Dragon Quest VIII, The Empire of Hollowed Kings, Echo Pillar 2004. Branching monarchy system, Jessica as a time seer, and a final boss who is your own forgotten soul fragment. Core concept. The monarchy system is dynamic. You can either ally with the royal bloodline, reform it, or dismantle it entirely. The central curse plot is replaced with an empire-wide crisis tied to echoes of forgotten rulers. Story details. Jessica is now a time seer, able to perceive alternate histories of the Empire. Her arc revolves around helping you rewrite events using altar-based memory runes. Dual Magus exists, but is not the final threat. Instead, the final boss is the King's Echo, a soul fragment of your own erased lineage, embodying the flaws and tyranny you would have enacted in a forgotten past. Depending on your choices, the Empire might thrive, fragment into republics, or fall under spiritual rule. Gameplay changes. Branching monarchy system. Political alliances affect city development, laws, and available quests. Truth mode. Unlocked only if you reject all authority figures and seek the voice beneath the leaves, revealing the Empire's true origin and your hidden role in it. Alter rewrites. Special locations let you replay past events with altered outcomes, opening new areas and bosses. Dragon Quest IX, Blood of the Seraphim, DQuest Echo Spiral. You begin as a fractal soul guardian binding timelines. Party members are shards of your past selves. Soundtrack by Koji Kondo and Yasunori Mitsuda. Core concept. Instead of Celestrians, you're a fractal soul guardian, a being tasked with binding alternate timelines. Every quest carries hidden karmic weight, and the world evolves based on the aggregate echoes of your decisions. Story details. Party members are shards of your past selves, each representing a different moral alignment or personal flaw. The villain is a rogue guardian who has severed themselves from the spiral of timelines, trying to merge all worlds into one static reality. Towns evolve dynamically. Save a merchant caravan early, and their expanded trade changes a city's prosperity decades later. Ignore them, and the city may fall to ruin. Gameplay changes. Moral veils. Every quest has an unseen karmic meter. Enough imbalance can permanently alter geography, politics, or NPC fates. Shard evolution. Your party members gain new forms and abilities as you reconcile or reject aspects of your own soul. Soundtrack. Composed jointly by Koji Kondo and Yasunori Mitsuda, using multi-key leitmotifs that subtly shift with your moral standing. Dragon Quest XI, The Betrayal of Erdrea. DQ, Shadow Resonance. The Luminary is an exiled prophet, not a chosen hero. Serena shows timelines where you accepted the call, all ending in ruin. The alternate ending abolishes divine destiny entirely. Core concept. The Luminary is not a fated hero, but an exiled prophet who once refused the god's call. The story becomes a meditation on destiny, consequence, and rejecting divine control. Story details. Serena's role expands. She becomes a witness of echoes, showing you timelines where you accepted the call in past lives, each ending in catastrophic ruin. The gods are revealed as flawed architects, maintaining a cycle of heroes and calamities to feed their own power. In the final act, you decide whether to erase the divine order, returning Erdrea fully to mortal control. The alternate ending, unlocked only by defying both Yggdrasil and the gods, creates a world where history is rewritten free of divine interference. Gameplay changes. Echo visions. Mid-battle or between areas, you're shown flashes of other timelines' outcomes, some offering hints, others just haunting imagery. Prophet's choices. Dialogue and quest options often involve breaking with the traditional path, refusing blessings, turning down sacred weapons, or saving enemies. Destiny Break Meter. A hidden system tracking how much you've disrupted the divine script. High values unlock the abolished destiny ending. Dragon Quest VII. Gnostic Fork. Demiurge Expanded Universe. Divergence Point. Late development of Dragon Quest VII. The writers were given full freedom to lean into Gnostic myth, alternate timelines, sealed world prisons, and false god constructs. DQ7 ends with a fully voiced philosophical confrontation with a demiurge analog who challenges the very notion of divine narrative control. Result: the game develops a reputation as the secret Gnostic JRPG in English fan circles. An uncut re-release is labeled Dragon Quest VII: The Chains of Aeon in North America. Eventually spins off a philosophy-laced turn-based subseries where party members represent psychic archetypes: Logos, Sophia, Chaos, Witness. Also in this timeline, Square Enix merged earlier, and Dragon Quest VII received a fully remastered PS2 version in the West, with a cleaner translation, faster pacing, and full voice acting. The religious subtext, Gnosticism and Demiurge, was not censored but highlighted in marketing as mythic roleplay with spiritual depth. Result: Dragon Quest VII becomes a cult mythic favorite among RPG fans in the West. Timeline: DQR X Resonance Wave, Dragon Quest X, Divergence Point, 2011-2012. In this timeline, Square Enix greenlit a full global release for Dragon Quest X shortly after launch in Japan. Western players were given the game with no IP region locking, full language support, and a culturally sensitive localization that preserved the reincarnation mechanic, village mythos, spirit gates, class mysticism, and temple-based metaphysics. It launched a spiritual gaming renaissance in the mid-2010s. Closing notes. These alternate histories reveal how small divergences, a single design choice, a localized myth, or a moment of controversy, can ripple across decades of storytelling. In some worlds, Dragon Quest became a spiritual cornerstone. In others, it pushed boundaries until censored, only to inspire even bolder creations. Each strand is a reminder that the legend of Dragon Quest is not bound to one reality. It is a living myth, forever reshaping itself across the timelines.